Councilman Van Cleef. Councilman Secreto. Councilman Kitchen is excused. Councilwoman Hayner.
Here.
Supervisor Quigley.
Present, thank you. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda tonight? Thank you. Are there any members of the public here tonight who wish to speak on matters that appear on tonight's agenda outside of the public hearing? Communications, please.
Yes, I have one letter received in the mail on January 31st, 2022, to the attention of Supervisor Quigley. Dear Supervisor Quigley, I am empowered by Article 18 of the county law with the authority to prosecute all crimes within the jurisdiction of Ulster County and have the authority under New York State law to delegate this prosecutorial responsibility. Please accept this post as confirmation that I authorized Attorney Jason J. Kovacs to prosecute vehicle and traffic offenses in the town of Ulster, excluding vehicle and traffic misdemeanors and/or alcohol-related offenses. Very truly yours, David J. Clegg, Ulster County District Attorney. That concludes communications.
Thank you very much. At the last meeting, we had the department heads present an annual report wrap up for their departments. The water department, in the person of John Rose, the water superintendent, was not available at that meeting. So, Mr. Rose, please come forward to present your report.
Good evening, everyone. 2021 was another busy year for the water department. Everyone is healthy. That's the number one thing. But we had 487 service calls, 362 markouts, 14 mainline water breaks, 2 service leaks. Some of the highlights: we drained and cleaned the 5 million gallon tower, installed 3 new valves at the base of the tower, installed a new chlorination system at the tower along with the mixing system, and all seems to be working well. We redeveloped both wells in Halcyon Park with good results, installed 2 new variable speed drives on both wells to help save on electric. We worked all valves in all the districts, flushed all hydrants in all the systems. We did all Board of Health required testing with no violations. Another big project was we upgraded our SCADA system to include the small districts, Halcyon Park, Bright Acre, Spring Lake, Cherry Hill, and the Kingston Pump Station. We also installed a new mixer in the Glenary Tower, which is working very well. And I would like to thank all the other departments, sewer, highway. We've been extremely busy for 2022. Had 10 mainline water breaks since the 1st of January, and they've helped us out a lot with manpower, equipment. The sewer vac is a very valuable truck. So that's about it. Any questions?
I want to take this opportunity to commend the water department in the person of Mr. Rose and his crew, in conjunction with the town highways department under Frank Petromall and the sewer department under Vincent Majori. On, I believe it was Monday,
Yep.
we had 3 water main breaks, followed up by 1 first thing Tuesday. It was almost a 24-hour around-the-clock operation by the 3 departments to address the issues. One was a very challenging leak, and it was a very deep leak on Lowmeyer Lane,
7.5 feet deep.
where the main dives down to go underneath 209. They had to bring in the trench box to make sure that the workers were well protected from any potential cave-ins of the trench walls. They pulled that off. They turned around. They had another leak over on Sawmill out in the middle of the field. And then there was a leak on Old Sawkill Road adjacent to a building where a service connection blew out. So I
Yeah.
wanted to thank all for their tremendous efforts During caucus tonight, we discussed many of the problems facing the town in procuring materials that are essential to our operations on a daily basis and also in a long-term basis. For example, we ordered last April a four-wheel drive plow truck that we were expecting to be delivered in the month of January, which we are now told is going to be delivered in the month of April. In addition, we have been told that it's going to cost us $4,500 more than the order price that we put in. We're talking about the fact that our ammunition supplies for the police department are being delivered in a delayed fashion. There are any number of other issues. So, Mr. Rose, I want to take this opportunity in view of the 10 water main breaks in the month of January into the first week in February. How are we on supplies to repair future water main breaks?
I still have a good inventory. As soon as the breaks are over with, I'm ordering what we used, but there is a delay. But I still have a decent inventory. So I'm hoping for do the
Mr.
best.
Van Cleek?
John, with the breaks that you're having recently, are they things just breaking, or does it have to do with, in the past, there were problems with parts that were defective? Or a combination thereof?
No, old age. Some of them were, like we had one on Old Neighborhood Road, okay, by the railroad tracks.
Mhm.
Well, when the telephone company went through and put the telephone line, they encased it in concrete. And part of the concrete went underneath our water main on a section. So that did not settle and the rest settled. So you got a crack right. So I had to jackhammer the concrete away in order to even get a repair clamp on.
So in other words, the concrete acted as a fulcrum
Yeah,
and
yes,
the pipe just cracked.
yes. The one on Lomire Lane, there was such a deflection in the pipe from when they put it in, however many years ago, 50, 60 years ago, there was such a deflection, and when the pipes moved. So yeah, I can't blame any of these past 10 on anything other than old age, and maybe a little improper installation back then. Anything
John,
else?
just want to tell you thanks. It's cold out there.
Yes, it was.
Hard to work.
Monday morning, it was 3 below.
No.
So, but thank you.
One other thing we didn't get to talk about much, but when you redid the tank, the big tank up on the hill, I say redid to clean it.
Yes.
We originally thought that tank had a very limited life. What are we not finding? What's a guess now after you have the engineers there and stuff?
Well, we had the paint engineer there.
Yeah.
If you want a copy, I have a copy of the report, but I think he's saying anywhere from 5 to 10 years.
Good. So we've got.
So you have
significantly
breathing
more
room.
time than we thought. Okay.
Yes, you have breathing room.
Thank you.
And in addition, we have a grant application into EFC to replace the small tower that is adjacent to the large tower. And it's critical that we have a water storage ability at the south end of the district when we take that large tank out of service, because there's a matter of balancing the water pressure within the district and consumption. So we are planning and we're trying to get the ground laid for the eventual replacement of that large tank.
Yeah, because that one has 72 patches on it.
That's this week.
Who's
Yep.
counting? Who's counting?
Thank you, sir. Moving to new business. Ms. Reeve, on the tax collection presentation, please.
Tax collection, January 31st was the last day to collect taxes without a penalty. Our total tax warrant for the year is 19,744,000. As of close of today, we have collected a little over 15 million. And as of yesterday, February 2nd, we were able to satisfy the town of Ulster's portion of the warrant, satisfying all accounts and special districts totaling 14,265,000. So with that, we are 2 days ahead of schedule that we were in at this point in 2021. Having said that, for the past few years, since I have been here as tax collector, we have received assistance from the Bank of Greene County in processing payments. They have been short-staffed and have closures at their branch. And we decided at the end of December to no longer have them process payments. So it has just been my deputy and I, Lauren, processing the payments ourselves. So I want to commend my deputy. We have been working extra hours and on Saturdays to accomplish this. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda, Chief Berardi, would you explain just specifically what is this DWI task force? What does it mean for the town of Ulster?
Excuse me. This is a standard agreement that we sign with Ulster County year after year. It's additional funding that's provided through forfeitures that enhances driving while ability and power enforcement. So on top of our normal patrols, this is added patrols that we put on just to focus on impaired driving.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2022 DWI Task Force Agreement with Ulster County? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Secreto, the next four items are in relation to personnel.
Right, it's a motion to accept the resignation of full-time court clerk Marissa Martino to Judge Marcia Weiss. This letter is to notify that I will be surrendering my 2 weeks' notice effective Monday, January 17th, 2022. My last day of employment will be Friday, January 28th, 2022. I have been offered and accepted a position with the Town of Hyde Park Justice Court. I want to thank you for the past 7 years and all of I have learned. While working for the Town of Ulster Justice Court is sometimes a very challenging position, it is one that I have thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you for sharing the knowledge and for always being a source for my guidance. Thank you once again, Marcia, Marissa Martino.
Motion to accept the resignation. So moved.
Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Proceed.
This is a motion to accept the resignation of court clerk Roseanne Kwasnowski as a union employee and hiring her as an appointed clerk to Justice Weiss. This is her resignation letter. I, Roseanne Kwasnowski, hereby resign my civil service position as court clerk and accept the position as clerk to the Justice for Justice Weiss, effective today's date. Okay, I have her paperwork here for her new job. Employee's name would be Roseanne Kwasnowski. Her title will be Clerk to Justice Weiss. Department will come to court. Fund comes out of the general. Position is full-time, exempt from civil service. It's a non-union position. Health insurance will be a buyout. She's a grade 5. Wage is $18 an hour. Start date is 1/31/2022. Comes at the request of Judge Weiss. Roseanne will be hired as an appointed full-time clerk to Justice Weiss at the rate of $18 an hour with benefits effective 1/31/22. We will be accepting her resignation as a union employee. With that being said, I ask for a motion to hire Roseanne Kwasnowski.
So moved.
Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Proceed.
The next one is a motion to hire a provisional full-time court clerk. The employee's name will be Taylor Crispino. Title is provisionally court clerk. Department is the court, comes out of the general fund, full-time position. It's a union position, civil service competitive. It's out of local 17. It also has a health insurance buyout. She'll be a grade 5, step 3. The wage will be $16.89 an hour. Start date 1/31/2022 at the request of Judge Kessick. Taylor will be hired as a provisional full-time clerk, grade 5, step 3, at the rate of $16.89 with benefits. She will need to take the upcoming court clerk's test with Ulster County when it comes. I ask for a motion to hire Taylor. I will abstain from voting on this as she is a relative of mine.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Please proceed.
Second. Motion to hire a part-time court clerk. Employee's name is Anna Ruskowski. Title, part-time court clerk. Department would be the court, comes out of the general fund. Part-time position, non-competitive for civil service, non-union. Health insurance, not covered. The wage is $22 an hour. Start date is February the 3rd, 2022. This comes at the request of Judge Kessett. Anna Ruskowski is being rehired as a part-time court clerk to assist in training employees in the court office. She will be working less than 20 hours a week at the rate of $22 an hour, no benefits. I ask for a motion to hire Ms. Ruskowski.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Chief Berardi, with the rest of the stuff on the agenda, you might as well move to the front of the room. The next item on our agenda relates to Dr. Fix. Would you please explain?
This is an extension to our existing agreement. Dr. Fix provides psychological assessment and reporting for all hires in the police department.
Now, during caucus, you informed us that this is now a prospective requirement under New York State law, starting.
As effective back in October of last year, the governor signed a Professional Policing Standards Act, which puts stipulations on hiring practices for all police departments across New York State. And part of that practice is you have to provide psychological testing for them.
And how long has the town of Ulster been doing psychological testing on all police department hires?
I would say we're at least going on 6+ years now. We've been doing it.
So may I have a motion to authorize the signing of the agreement with Dr. Fix? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a modification to the operational policy of the Town of Ulster Police Department. Go ahead and please explain what we're doing here.
During reform, obviously, the biggest request that came out of our reform committee was body cameras for our officers. With that, we have been utilizing in-car cameras as long as I've been here, for 20 years. But they wanted to enhance transparency like we're seeing across the country. So it came at a perfect time. Our in-car cameras were becoming past their useful life. So with cooperation of the town supervisor and town board, we purchased in-car body camera feature. The officer wears the body cam on their chest, but the camera on the vehicle dashboard or windshield also captures an image. That went into full effect December last year. This policy solidifies the proper use, maintenance, storage, and dissemination of all that data that we gather.
Gentlemen and ladies, this is a presentation of the proposed policy. It is available on the Town of Ulster's website for the public to review. I would encourage the community to become familiar with it so you understand how responsive the Town of Ulster Police Department is being in this matter. And we will be looking at this at a future meeting. The last item on the agenda as it relates to the police department relates to the purchase of police radios. Would you please proceed with that explanation?
Late last year, we were notified by NICOMCO, New York Communication Company out of Poughkeepsie, that does all our in-car radio and portables, that our current radios are 20+ years old, and they are no longer looking to service those just because of components and parts. With this is a resolution and a request to purchase new in-car mobile radios through NICOMCO.
And you expect these to be delivered when?
We're probably looking at late this year.
Within service the first quarter of next year, I should say.
Unfortunately, the radios and the technology part of it are being delayed, just like every other product out there.
Nycomco feels they can maintain the current system you've got until new ones come.
Yes, they will maintain our current system until we receive the new ones.
In your package is a resolution to approve the purchase of these radios on a sole source basis with NICOMCO, as it is that NICOMCO provides the radio frequencies, the digital channel by which we connect from dispatch to those radio frequencies. And they also own the towers that these frequencies are broadcast from. So this qualifies as a sole source contract to NICOMCO, and I ask for a motion to accept the resolution. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Since this is a large amount, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Green, please.
Yes.
Councilman Socorro.
Yes.
Councilman Fitch is excused. Councilwoman Hayner.
yes,
Supervisor Freeland.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
The next two items are under old business. The first item is a motion to set a public hearing for the local law allowing members of the town board to participate in town board meetings via video conference from locations outside the town of Ulster boundary lines for Thursday, February 17th, 2022 at 7:10 PM. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that.
All those, any discussion on it? All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The last item is a presentation of a resolution adopting local law blank of 2022 to modify section blank of the town zoning code, a local law known and cited as parkland and recreation fees. There is nothing for us to do on this matter tonight. We're presenting the resolution as it is part of our legislative process. It will be brought back for a vote next meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the scheduled agenda. We will move now to the continuation of the public hearing from January 20th, 2022 for the town board meeting on a special permit use for Mo's Motor Cars LLC, project 862 454 Hurley Avenue, Town of Ulster, SBL 48.17-1-41.100. There are quite a few people here in the audience tonight, along with a good attendance on Zoom. I would ask the people on Zoom to please allow us to allow the individuals here tonight in person to go first. So may I have a motion to open the public hearing? To continue the public hearing. All those in favor? For those here tonight at this meeting in public, if there is anyone here who wishes to speak on the matter, please come to the podium and please attempt to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Seeing none no one approaching the podium, I would ask for those who are on Zoom, indicate through hand gestures or some other Zoom thing if they have something to say. Are there any individuals on Zoom who wish to make comments?
I do.
Mr. Tufano?
Yes, thank you. The past few meetings I've been to about this issue, my stance hasn't changed. I would like the town to not approve the variance. I think the variance was in place for a reason. 4 foot should be more than enough. It does increasing the height of the fence does not engender or create more security. We also don't know what the fence is going to look like. And it doesn't fit the neighborhood. We have horse farms, we have churches, we have schools. This is a very rural community. And I don't see the need to pass the variance for this project. And
Thank
I've
you.
said it a few times before about the same thing, so I'm not going to rehash it all over again. Thank you.
Are there any individuals in the Zoom audience who wish to make comment?
I do.
do.
Okay, Holly, I believe I heard you first.
Okay. So I just want to say that one of the problems I have with this entire project is I went through the town of Ulster zoning law. Not thoroughly. I won't say I was 100% thorough, but I cannot find a place where it fits. It's not an automotive garage and service center, any building or portion thereof servicing and repairing automobiles. It's not automotive sales and service, the use of any building, land area, or other premise principally for the display, sale, rental, or lease of new or used automobiles, because it is for the storage of those items to be sold elsewhere. I couldn't find much about parking lots, but I can't find anything about them as anything except an accessory use, not a primary use. It's certainly not light industry. As I have stated, for all practical purposes, to me, it most closely describes a junkyard. Being as taxes are paid at the point of purchase, not pickup, it brings no sales tax gains to Ulster County or the town of Ulster. It will decrease property values and therefore taxes to surrounding properties. And being as this board is not legally or in any other way obligated to say yes to this project, I don't understand why you're even considering upsetting every surrounding property owner, every person who voted for you, to give this project a chance. He says he's not going to wash the cars here. Several months of the year, the drive from a car wash to the location is going to get a car pretty dirty. He says he's going to create jobs. There's no on-site attendant. No auto shop or car wash will be hiring new people to accommodate his volume. So where are the jobs created? I think approving this project, which meets no definition and gives no discernible benefits to the community on a whim, simply because you, quote, want to give it a chance, is not only inappropriate, flat out shameful, and I ask you to say no.
Ms. Town Clerk, do you have enough information to identify this person for the record? Holly, would you please provide us your last name?
Yes, Christiana.
Thank you. We can adequately now identify you in the public record. There
Thank
was
you.
another voice that spoke up shortly after Holly did. It was,
Yes, Reverend Henry Albrechtson, the pastor of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church.
please, Reverend.
I want to state my objection one more time against this project as a whole. I believe it to be out of character for the largely residential neighborhood that we exist in, and it offers no service or benefit to the community. That being said, should there be an approval for the variance, I respectfully request that the town board make as a requirement for this acceptance that the fence, whatever it is, as installed between the two properties, be somewhat masked or shadowed. The front has already been said that it will have green slats through the chain link fence, just obscuring it somewhat. We would appreciate that at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church as well. We have had in the past substantial landscaping and foliage that separated the two properties, much of which has been destroyed. And should the fence go up, we would like to have that masked, and also that the existing foliage not be touched, that a moratorium be placed on that. Good Shepherd Lutheran Church uses their parking lot for outdoor activities, not simply to park for worship services on Sunday. And we thank the board and the planning board for insisting that no business be done at Mr. Wahid's property up until noon on a Sunday. However, we still believe that we need to have some sort of protection between the two pieces of property. Thank you.
Mo, would you please stop making noise so the camera will stop going to you rather than the person who's speaking?
Wow. Supervisor, quickly, I'm ready to speak when he's finished.
Would you allow the Reverend to finish, please?
I am finished. Thank you very much.
My
I want
apologies.
to note for the record that in reviewing the planning board file for the 1987 project that included the construction of the convenience mart, there was heavy emphasis put on the landscaping between the convenience mart and the church. This is not a new request. It is an age-old request that was complied with in the 1987 project, and until the fire, the vegetative state was sufficient, I believe, to make the church acceptance of the adjacent property. Mr. Wahid, it is now your turn.
Yes. Just want to kind of answer first, the Reverend. His concerns are very legitimate, and I've answered them almost every meeting. You know, the shrubs will cover the fence. There will be slits or some type of blanket, one of the two. It's going to match, you know, the shrubs. You know, that's why we said green for the coloring. And, you know, the bushes in between us, we understand that. That's why I stopped. I left it at, you know, where the line was, and, you know, the fence will go next to it. So that's totally fine. Everything he has said about the hours on Sunday, absolutely, that's no problem. As far as Holly, you know, and as far as, you know, this is not personally attacking, but she keeps on saying that there's no benefit. And I keep repeating, why is she saying, or anyone saying, that there's no sales tax here? The dealership will be open to the local public and the internet. It's not like I'm just selling on the internet. She keeps saying that there's no local sales tax. It's not true. When you advertise cars in the internet, local people come, plenty of local people. It's not like that at all. And as far as the community benefit, where there's no employees, probably, she has that right. But that's why I'm hiring outside local guys. I can't go far away to wash my cars. It has to be close. And once I wash the cars, you know, to take photos, if I put it on the internet, or if I have a serious buyer that makes an appointment, because most of the business will be appointment only. That's the reason why I said that. But appointment only can be local people and, you know, out of state or surrounding areas. And as far as, you know, the property values, I don't know how much experience this person has, but I keep on saying it's going to degrade it. And I've made it very clear, and I explained it to Supervisor Quigley also. There was a property that I was involved right behind the hospital, and I paid less than I paid for this one. And I sold it for 21 times the purchase price. And I didn't even build anything. All I did was clear it and clean it up. 21 times more. Why are you saying I'm bringing down the neighborhood? When I sold that property, my neighbor, Bill Berardi, he was happy because now he sold his building and his large parcel only for maybe 20% more. And mine was vacant. Okay, that's what I did. That's called bringing values up dramatically. Okay, so we need to just stop saying about the property value. If I make the property values go down, I lose money. Okay, I have my real estate license. I'm a real estate developer too. Okay, I do this on my own. I don't make money if I degrade or devalue your neighborhood. We're not understanding that. Okay, this isn't going to be a super busy dealership. Okay, so I have to maintain this property to be very nice at all times where prospective buyers can drive by. But as of right now, it's been a dead property for like 9 years. And I wasn't like a crowd of people who wanted it. I was the only one who stepped forward. They auctioned the property for like 5 to 7 years. Nobody bid on it. Nobody purchased it. It was for sale. It wasn't some hidden deal. It was.
Wahid, I believe you have made your point, as every other speaker has tonight.
Okay.
I would ask that you give anyone else here or in the Zoom audience an opportunity who have not spoken yet to speak up. Hearing and seeing no one else. I have a motion. I have a second to close the public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor? This motion, this public hearing is now closed. We will now resume our agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our scheduled business for tonight. This is the portion of the meeting where some people like to let the town board know what they think about how we're doing. So I'm going to open the floor to public comment on any item that anybody in the audience or on Zoom wishes to address the board on. And again, I would ask that those on Zoom, please allow those here tonight to come first. Are there any individuals in the audience tonight that wish to speak about any topic that is on your mind that you believe the town board should be aware of? Sir.
I wasn't planning to speak tonight, but my name is Chris Bell. I've been here for a few meetings for specific reasons. But one of the things I wanted to comment on was I've been very impressed the last few meetings with the annual presentations that were given by the various departments in the town. I tend to stay away from this kind of thing, so I'm a little unaware. I just know things work. And I also know that that's not a given, that people are putting a lot of effort into that. I'm particularly impressed with tonight's description of dealing with the water system. I live down in Rolling Meadows. We're on a different system, which has been fortunate this year not to have any serious problems. But with the kind of temperatures we've had lately, I think it's a miracle we haven't had more problems in the town at some point or another. So it's good to hear from all these people where there is good news for the community. And I really appreciate being able to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Are there any other individuals here tonight? Are there any individuals on Zoom that can signal in some manner that they wish to make comment during this portion of the meeting? Does anybody see anyone? I see no one. I ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. We will see you